We are
Didi
and Arma, and in our daily lives we support people on the path of self-liberation. We teach time-tested energy skills like Qigong, Tai Chi, internal alchemy, traditional nutrition and meditation.
We help people release stagnation, build energy, and become aligned with themselves and their purpose in life.
In this podcast, we share the methods, skills, and solutions that helped us, our students, and now hopefully you move forward.
Let's explore transformation together.
Today we are talking about Song, relaxation, and how to properly relax in the internal arts. And such an important topic because everything starts here. If we get this one wrong, it's going to be very, very, very hard, if not impossible, to do the other stuff. This is just the beginning. So a very important one to understand. So let's dive into this one.
Yeah. So let's start with Song.
Yeah, Song. So Song means relaxation, but it doesn't mean we just relax. There's something more going on. It's a transformational process. And this transformational process is an alchemy. So we're changing something, we're transforming something from one state into another state. We're going from muscle tension into fascia stretch. A lot of you have maybe heard of muscle to tendon changing. This is, you hear this about exercises, etc. It's a common term in the internal arts. This takes us a little bit further. It's the same thing roughly, but now we're talking about fascia. Fascia sums up all the elasticity of the body. So I hope you see now, it's not what we end up in. It's not just relax. It's the process of releasing and relaxing muscle tension into fascia stretch. And it is this process that describes Song.
That's quite clear. Yeah.
Let's take a breath now. Yeah. So I hope you get this, that this is a very important thing, that you can see the difference between those. Because if you just choose to relax, we're missing construction.
And
right?
Yeah. And that's something, of course, that's something we talk about a lot. Construction.
Yeah.
Because without construction and only relaxation, well, if you're a martial artist, and you think about someone without construction, relaxation, well, there is no fight.
Right. There's no...
Because he's already laying on the floor. There's no
having a cocktail, lying in the sun. But without kidding, it's so important to understand that there's something going on with this construction, with this openness that, the openness of the elastic body creates the room for muscle tension to dissolve into, so it's a dissolving. So relaxation is one word, and that's maybe the thing, you think about someone with a cocktail on the beach, which is fine. It has its place, but it's a different thing. It cannot just be that. So let's not use the word relaxation now, but focus on releasing, dissolving, and now we're getting a little bit more clear of what's happening here. Yeah. So. Yeah, construction is key. Elastic body is key. Elastic body is key because the elastic body, is the riverbed for all energy streams in the body. So if you want to really go into the Qigong process, which is the foundation for Tai Chi and all the other, internal arts, we're going to see, this is just a crucial thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and if we look at exercises to practice the Song process. One of the important ones is the standing practice.
Obviously, it's a great entry into it. We've already made podcasts about this for sure and videos. And, the thing that you can learn there, and that this is the thing we also, we teach when someone comes into a workshop. This is day one. We're really focusing on a couple of aspects. We're focusing on how to open the joints. And if we use standing practice for that, it's nice because we're just standing there, right? We're not moving at that moment. We're sort of, okay, this is me standing here, and now I can really focus on what does it mean to open the joints? Well, opening of the joints means creating space in the joints. So we're lengthening, we're opening something. So the word opening the joints is so important here. We made a podcast about that recently as well, the art of being open, because openness, it starts with this opening of the joints. Then when we open the joints, stretching around the ball or, opening, lengthening the arm in an imaginary tunnel, something like that. People have this experience of like, what? Now something is happening. Now we go into the elasticity. We feel that we're going to feel the tendons. We're going to feel the elastic body. And wow. So that's the result of opening these joints. We activate something, right? So that's the second step. And we start discovering is like, so how much stretch are you giving? Stress. Ooh, I almost said that wrong. Stretch. Sorry. Are you giving? So, now it becomes more like you become like a piano tuner. You say like, a little bit more ding, 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 and a little bit less boom, 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 boom. So we're looking for this place where you feel like, oh, wait a minute. There's a unity. There's something happening that connects everything. Hence the word connective tissue. Fascia is connective tissue. Something's changed.
Yeah.
And now we come into a construction, right?
Yeah.
And then we have a third step we're looking for is like how to hang the muscle while doing so. So we open the construction. Now we start hanging the muscle. This is the absolute entry into this world. But if you even would only do this into your Tai Chi, because you can start moving with these principles as well. That's what we do in the first day as well, is we start moving with it. Now people have this idea of like, and this experience of like, I know how this should feel. Might not be optimal yet, because that's a development, obviously. But I have an experience. I know what it should feel like. And this is a completely different thing than just relax, relax, relax. It's a process. It's a transformational process. It's like, a little bit more stretch. A little bit more room. Relax, hang the muscle some more. Dissolve that into, release that into a little bit more stretch. And now, what do we feel? Now, what do we feel, right, Didi?
Yeah.
We feel more energy. We're gonna feel and experience flow, warmth, etc., etc.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I think to go back, because
Take a breath. Go back.
Yeah. No, it's when I started standing practice long time ago.
Yeah. Many moons ago.
Many moons ago. It was quite hard. It was kind of, I was doing more of the relax, 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 probably.
We've all done that, yeah.
And 1 minute seemed like hours.
Yeah.
And my body was like trembling and
feels like dying, right? It's
almost,
like, whoa.
Yeah. But I was kind of not supported yet by my elastic body. And it was kind of hanging. And what my shoulders would burn. And my arms would feel like so heavy. Yeah. And my legs would like...
Yeah, burn and...
collapse almost. So, that was my first training session with... If you've never done standing practice, do still start. Don't let this put you off. But...
it's got... obviously it's going to be heavy in the beginning.
Yeah.
Obviously in lots of ways, but... Yeah.
But after, and then we picked up the training, of course. And in the beginning, we weren't as aware of all these pointers as what you are now.
We were still learning as well. Yeah, sure.
So it was kind of learning along the way. But with time and doing... One of the exercises that made a huge impact was the stretching.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
To give more space. So, to implement that into the training. And the standing practice became lighter, became more open, became easier by building up the fascia.
Yeah,
and also implementing the vital energy.
Yeah, absolutely. So the pore breathing. Yeah. So there's a combination of different exercises that go into this development, right? It's not just a standing practice. It's not just moving with it. You could say there's And there's exercises that are more on the fascia development side of things, which is very important because they create this strong construction. And it takes time to develop. It takes time to develop tendons and elasticity on one side. On the other side, we're doing exercises where we're focusing more on the soft side of the training, right? So, and we use pore breathing for that. Maybe you've seen videos of us online about pore breathing, but pore breathing is actually a tool for the Sung practice, and it goes a long way. So it's just balancing out between the harder exercises, if you will. So we also like holding exercises with elastic bands and pulleys, everything that you can, and also partner training, by the way. So that exaggerates everything that puts a force on your elastic body is going to help develop the elastic body. And what happens? You're going to build more internal power because you have more elastic body. You're gonna, conduct more vital energy. Yeah. That's the thing. But on the other hand, we want to work on the really softening side of things, where we, do sorts of exercises with names like the floating bones exercise, where we release muscle tension away from the bones and really soften into a very light and nicely open stretch through the pores. And, bringing vital energy into the equation, the feeling of this energy is going to just create more space to dissolve into. I mean, elastic body is already a lot where you can dissolve into, but now adding the extra space of this vital energy body, the magic starts to happen, and this is just a process. But I hope that what you can take away from this is that, working on both sides of the coin here is going to develop the song. It's not just only relaxing, softening exercises. You can really save time, lots of time, by going into the correct development of the elastic body, which means stretching exercises, holding exercises, etc. It changed our lives. It's changed everyone we've taught this. And I'm so grateful that we've been taught this as well, because I think, in the internal arts, there's this misconception that you shouldn't do any of the harder training. Whereas you really start diving into it, you can see that, true Tai Chi masters, the real ones out there, of course, they've done training like partner training, like object training to strengthen their construction. Obviously, I mean, these are martial artists, for crying out loud. They are not just acting. This is real stuff, right? But I think this is the yin-yang aspect of the training as well. If you don't have this yang aspect to the training, it's going to be really hard to have the more yin aspects of the training. It supports each other, right? It's the balancing out of things. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, because when you're talking about this so many years later, and now I don't practice standing practice all the time, but of course, when we do the workshops, we have sessions where we do standing practice, and it's so much easier now. It's it's as if somebody holds you up.
It's a self-supporting system at a certain point, right?
And it's a beautiful feeling. It's and you feel the energy around you, and it's more, and there's so much more. There's stillness.
Yeah. A spaciousness, a stillness, a softness, a connectiveness as well. Yeah. Right? It's like everything goes more open, right? Yeah. Your awareness starts to spread. Yeah.
So it's it just feels like, I can stand for hours now and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
And enjoy being there and just be one.
Yeah.
So, it's not something that you achieve in a couple of days. You can achieve
an experience of it, right? Quickly. Yeah. Holding it for longer times and obviously conditioning it in such a way that it's always there for you. It's the same as muscle development, really. If you go, it takes time to develop, but it will develop, So we advise people to do 100 days of stretching when they learn it. And it's a funny thing because we had a returning student this weekend from someone who was here last June. So that's roughly 3 months. That's roughly 100 days. And we did some sitting exercises, and I remembered from the workshop that he had some trouble with sitting, and his spine, and it was all over the place and tight, but now he could just sit for an hour because he did stretching every day since. Yeah. So, and I had to point it out to him. It was almost logical for him now. It was just something he was not even aware of. But I said to him, look, you're so much stiller. It's there for you. You took the time to develop it. And it's just great. And you decide how far you want to take this stuff. But stretching exercises, these muscle to tendon stretching exercises are so important for the development, as are the softer trainings of the pore breathing. Pore breathing is just not pore breathing only, of course, you just move vitality in and out, but it's a tool for relaxing and it's this combination of things that can move you quickly into a strong construction, alignment, and openness. It doesn't have to take years at all. It depends solely on you and how much time you invest in it. And it's more the regularity of it than anything else. But Didi, it's so beautiful, which brings us also to, if you start working on this, it's the whole physiology of people starting to change. It's not only that he can sit longer on a chair, he comes different into the room. You see a different person. And, that's the alchemy thing as well, right? You transform, that there's something happening.
Yeah. And in those 5 days, because especially when they first come in, it's construction. Without the construction, there's nothing.
And partner exercises to support that and quicken that and make people more aware of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you already see the change that can be done. You see the person behind the posture that it's been, people, you can see so much on how people carry their body.
Yeah.
And you've been practicing this or it's ingrained in you almost for the time that you live.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a story, you see all these stories of people having lived for maybe 25 years, 30 years, some 75 years. A body tells a story. It's like a museum, right? It's just, and that's what you see. Yeah.
And so if you start changing that, some people who had a lot of grief, they might bend a little bit forward. If you start changing that and start to, when somebody holds their body up.
Yeah. Create spine and backbone and wow.
And then something happens with the eyes and something happens with, their surroundings. So
there's a presence coming in, right? There's someone who's here, who's present and more aligned with himself and with everything. And this can change quickly. Mostly on the 4th day of a 5-day workshop, people are self-correcting. Maybe the days before it's like you do partner exercises like your neck or necks are an issue for a lot of people. But then they start self-correcting. It's like, oh, wait a minute. And now they're gonna see is like, okay, take this information with me. I'm gonna work at it. Now they see the benefit of it. And then they see like, oh man, I can go to the gym, do holding exercises. I can boost this because every time I do it, I feel better. I guess that is what you're trying to say here. Yeah. I mean, the change in physiology, of course, I think there's a lot of people talking about that, of course, in the NLP world. Think about Tony Robbins talking about that stuff all the time. Start with your physiology, change your physiology because how you feel is expressed by your physiology. Yeah. Now, pump up your spine, pump up the support system around it. And this takes time to develop, obviously. You're setting up a super strong construction and you feel better and everything starts with you feeling better. So this is a large aspect of the training as well. It's not only about, vital energy and that sort of stuff. It's more about a complete picture where everything starts to come together and you are more aligned with yourself, more present with yourself. You change. I mean, you hear from people that their family doesn't recognize them anymore at a certain point because they're so much more present and aware. But you just have to put in the time, but don't think it has to take that much time. No. Don't be fooled into that. The thing when it's really gonna take time is when you just relax and think that's it. That cannot be it. Believe me, it's just not what it is. So I hope you see that difference now.
Yeah. I do.
Well, you don't only see it, you live it, and you can see it,
yeah.
You're open, you're strong. But in the same time, being strong, you're also way more relaxed in it. You're such a more aligned person. I can see the change in you, we can see the change in how our lives develop because of this training, and that is what it should do. Thinking about also, the Taoistic influence on this training. And it's like, what are we trying to achieve here? We're trying to, create a strong individual. And that starts with backbone. We know that because we have this in expression in our language as well.
Yeah.
So open the joints, fine tune the fascia stretch, hang the muscle, start there, start your adventure, and
happy training.
Kick ass.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care.